Yo, apparently my music's not playing. I don't know. I don't know why. How you doing, Pablo? Things good? Yeah, I've been moving all my. I flipped my monitors, and man, it was an endeavor. That's for sure. All good, nice. Yeah, I'm not sure why my browser is not. Kind of weird. Oh, I might know why. Hang on. Nope. I thought I knew, but I was wrong. Okay, let me. I can switch to this camera. Um, Let me get the post up for the for Discord, and then we can start. I got my tablet, my screen tablet set up. We're gonna be sculpting all day today. It's gonna be nice. Where we at here? Discord. Man, I gotta get used to this. I usually look at the monitor to my right, but now you guys are to the right, and then the monitor is on the left. It's a little jarring, to say the least. Okay. Did you have a good weekend? Finally sculpting with a pen. In before the announcement. What's up, Raggedy? How you doing? Yeah, I'm just looking for where the announcement image went. For some reason I don't see it anywhere. It's kind of weird. How you doing, Raggedy? It's like I guess I'm just gonna have to see where it usually saves them because I don't remember that either. Classic. Export PNG banners, Discord, Twitch, thumbnails, 2026. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So some reason music's not playing on the on OBS. I don't know why, but so it's okay. I was gonna mute it anyways soon. Okay. Link should be out. All right, we're gonna get to getting some sculpt on. Let's see here. Close this. So yeah, if you got questions about sculpting in Blender, we can answer those or try to. Oh yeah, here's the new mouse. It's pretty nice. I like it. USB-C. Oh yeah. It's very clicky though. Very clicky. Jamie, what's up? How you doing? Yo. Okay, got the glove on. I guess I'm gonna switch to my music. Feel free to put your own tunes on, of course, as usual. Ank, what's up? How you doing? I have no idea why there's no music. That's kind of weird. I can see the computer sound is working okay. So I have no idea what that's about. As long as the captions are working, we're all good. Okay. I'll just drag some stuff around real quick here. Cool. Boom. Oh. There's all types of weird stuff going on. Hang on. Let me just double click this. Okay, that worked. Cool. Okay, Blender. Sculpting in Blender. So I made the last stream, what was that, on Thursday? We made this pot here, and now I'm looking at, I just did this one yesterday. Took about, it took about 2 hours, including the low poly unwrap and bake. Luan, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Yo. Dude, Assassin. Good to see you as well. Good to see you, man. Oh my God, I'm blind. That was bright. Stalabov, hello. Hello, hello. I can show you the bake test for this as well. This is like testing out just baking on these also, just to see how they look. Turned out pretty good. And I mean the wireframe. Wireframe, I mean, it's just a decimated mesh, right? So they need a wireframe button like right here, or a hotkey to toggle it on and off or something. Flashbang, indeed, dude, indeed. But overall, feels pretty good. I think we can keep going with it. I spent some time yesterday just making some brushes from alphas that I usually use in ZBrush. So those are going to help us as well. And I can show those also. Can maybe give you like a quick rundown on like how this is all set up. So if we go, let's do Control N and let's make a new, I'll save that real quick. Okay. Oh man, this is weird. I'm gonna have to figure out where the mic is gonna go because I need to move this. Let's see if this position will work. You guys can hear me okay still, yeah? And it feels like it'd be a bit quieter at least. Nader, what's up? David, good to see you, dude. So what do you, Assassin, is there not in user preferences? What do you mean? So let's see here. So if let's bring a cube in, right? So we got our cube here, and then we'll go into sculpting, and then you can see I have an Empire brushes tab here, and I'll just click the little, just scale these up. So I started working on some brushes. Oh, right. You guys are probably going to want some hotkeys. Hang on here. There we go. Maybe I don't need it that big then. Okay, so we've got this this cube thing here, right? And when I press R, we get this, it's like the voxel grid preview, and then Control R will apply that that grid, and you can see if we go to wireframe, we can see the geo has been cut. If we smooth, you can see that we're smoothing on it, and then I'll just go into object here real fast and just make sure that it's shaded smooth. So we get some nice smoothing. But essentially what I want to show you is just the brushes I have now. So this is like just a regular sculpting brush. I've made an Empire tab, which I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing how that's put together. But if we go to this top button here in the in this panel, I always forget what this panel is called. The properties panel. Oh, sync with outliner, auto, interesting. Anyways, I've made some adjustments to a brush. then I can click this little down arrow, and then I can duplicate the asset. So this is like if you were to create, let's say you had this brush, and I want this brush to be doing something very particular, like maybe the fall off right now is smooth, and I want to make it more sharp. Let's say, let's try linear. So you can see, like, maybe if I'm up here, it might be easier to see. So we've got linear there. If we try sharp, that's not really doing the, maybe sphere? Yeah, sphere's doing it a little better. So what I'm trying to affect is the scale, or the edge of where the sphere is being formed. And you can see with the sphere fall off, this is more of a half sphere going into a surface instead of like curving up on the edge there. And so let's say I've created this this change to the brush. I can click this and hit duplicate asset, and then I can call this like sphere blob, right? And then in library, I can click here, and user library is the what you want to be set to. And then in category, you can see that there's empire brushes here. Now, if you don't have a category that you want, you can leave this empty and then just type in what you want, and it'll actually create it. But for us, we're going to want this in the empire brushes. So if I hit save, now you can see we have sphere blob with the fall off setting. And then in our empire brushes, we've got it down here. So it becomes very easy to create your own brushes. Well, they have an empty shortcut so you can set your own mesh wireframe. Oh, that's good to know. Hang on here. Yeah, I usually tend to avoid modifying software quite often, because if I ever have to Drill, what's up? How you doing? If I have to like reinstall, or I'm on someone else's computer, I like to rely on the keys that they've offered. Yeah, let's go. What is it? Settings, shortcuts. Was it just called wireframe? No, what's it called? Viewport, viewer, draw, display. I can't search in here, can I? Translate, toggle, custom, erase, projection, polygon fill, fun, show mesh wireframe. Ooh, what is Shift W usually? Surface tool. F11. Surface tool is now F11. This is another reason I don't like to change them. Did I just not commit to that? Show mesh wireframe, Shift W. Nice. Okay, this is great. And we can have that pretty dark, and maybe even on brand. Okay, maybe not on brand. Not a great idea. Anyways, Shift W now will work for me. And I don't use the surfacing tool, so we're probably going to be good. Nice. Hey, do you know if this program is any good for making stuff in Source Engine? You mean Substance Painter? So it should be. I mean, if we press Control, what is it? Control Shift E to export, there should be. I mean, if there's not a preset for it, you just need to know how you want to export your textures and stuff. But yes, short answer is yes, it should be doable. This should be useful for Source Engine. I contributed. Assassin, it's good to see you, man. And then the tool that I'm using actually to sculpt in, this is totally useful to Source Engine. You can do all the stuff you want in here. But yeah, let me see if I can get this mic in a better spot. Hang on here. It's like right there. Okay. My God. Yes. So we looked at creating brushes and creating your own tab. I can show you the brushes I have now. So this one, the trim smooth border brush. So you can see I've changed the image here. You can actually, what is it? If you click here, you can edit the preview image and make your changes here. If you make any changes and you need to update your brush, you can just click here and you can save the changes to the asset, and it will update the brush on any of the settings you've adjusted. The other thing you can do is, if, say, you really like a brush from in here that you really want to make sure is in your custom panel, you could just click here, and then you can edit the metadata and move it to the right category. See, we can move it to Empire brushes if we want, or you can just duplicate it, which I would say duplicate it. That way you leave the other ones where they were, you know, so that the original shelves don't change really. But yeah, so this one, let's go here and turn up the resolution of this. I'll press Control R again, and we'll just kind of chip this away. This is the settings that I have for the brush. I actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if linear would be better for the fall off, or even constant, because I think it's just going off of an alpha that I put on this brush. Yeah. Doesn't usually slow down after Kiddo. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Where are we at here? Yeah, if we go to the brush settings though, and we go to texture, and you can see here, I've just got this this texture here, which is just like a square with some noise to it, and just some edge information to it. If I scale it up, you can really see it, which is really nice if you're dealing with large scale stuff, right? So we can, and I like it just because of the way it kind of chisels away at the geometry. So we can do this type of chippage. Trim smooth board? No, so I made this one. Basically start with a planar brush and then add an alpha. It's basically trim smooth brush. So I added a texture to it, and then I went into, where is it at here? Here, I'll go through the whole shebang. So I went to this brush called Trim. You click that without changing the image. I went through, I changed the texture to this one that I made in just Designer. You can make that in Photoshop as well if you want to. And then, where is it? Stroke. I just set the spacing to 3%. And that's just so that you don't get, like, by default, it's set to 7. So if I do 7, you can see there's some stepping, those lines there. By setting this to 3, you're adding more strokes per, which basically leads to a much smoother response in the sculpt. Frank, what's up, dude? So let's go back to the brushes here. So this brush has been pretty handy for me. The other one, which I can get you guys a link to for the alpha, because I paid for these alphas. Yeah, you could use Affinity as well, and Affinity is free now, so I mean, you can do some stuff with that for sure. So this one is just dragging out this alpha. This alpha is from Joltbug, so artist on ArtStation. She makes some really awesome brushes, or some alphas for brushes. And you can see we've got like this stone one here. I can just stamp it down, and I set it by screen size, so if I go further back, it'll be much larger. And it does a pretty good job. I have to be careful with some areas with just the way it projects. But the other thing too is, like, the strength is set to 0.2 by default, but you can bring this up to like 1, and you can see you get some pretty crazy Gives some pretty crazy information. So what we could do is like, we could maybe do something like that and then switch to the trim smooth and use that to assist us in sculpting out some of this information, right? Maybe you want this area to be a little bit smoother. And if you use Alt, you're doing the inverse, just like in ZBrush. So we can fill in areas if we want to smooth it out a little bit. And then as you get closer to like these edges here, I wanted so there's this brush, where is it here? Crease polish, which is like, it's like polishing a crease in ZBrush. Frank, I switched away from ZBrush like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. This one, the crease sharp, this is the closest I got to what I wanted. But you can see like the fall off there is very like rounded. And I was like, okay, I want something sharper, more chiseled. So first I went through and started looking for like, what could I do to adjust that? So this one, linear. See, now it's much more like angled. It's not, the fall off is a little bit friendlier. The other thing too that you should think about is the fact that you can do your own custom fall offs. So if we wanted to do this, you could make this one sharp and then do this, and you can get some, like that's pretty cool. And given the way the brush behaves, you get some pretty cool, interesting shape language going on there. But so we'll go with linear. And I was like, oh yeah, that one's nice, but I want some like tooth to it, and the ending is rounded. Dude, I remember when Orbs brushes came out. They were so good. I mean, they're still good. They're still really good today. But no, I don't use them too much, mainly because I found myself modifying them more to get towards the things I was looking for. But they're free, aren't they? You can even download sets of this for Blender. But no, what I ended up doing actually was making this diamond cut, which essentially, what I tried is making the changes to the brush like I just did, but then also adding the square alpha. And you can see it's getting a little jaggedy on the ends there, which is great. And you can see it's like squirming with it. It flows in the directionality. So what I actually ended up doing was turning on rake. So rake makes the alpha rotate based on the direction you're going. So if I turn that off, you can see. And then if I turn this back on, so now I can get some like really good cracks and chipping damage. And then it's just a matter of getting better at like understanding the cracks that I want to do. Doji, dude, what's up? Good to see you. Hello from YouTube side. Hello to you. Happy to have you. So yeah, so we've been looking at that type of stuff and just trying to figure out like, okay, what brushes do I need? The other one that I really like is, it's really good when you're working with stone-like surfaces to have areas of rest where that becomes flatter, right? But even in those areas, you can use those as like an opportunity to transition to different types of surfaces, or transition to different types of detail while giving the eye some rest. So I added this porous brush, which is basically a drag dot, like in ZBrush. And you can see I scale this up, and I've got an alpha in here that's also from Joltbug, and I can just drag this around and find like where it would suit best. And I also set it to rake. That way I can rotate it around in a way to like get it positioned the way I want. Can help with that stuff. And yeah, so those are kind of the base brushes that I've made so far. I just started making them yesterday because I'm just like, okay. Like the trim smooth border one I've had for a while. Crack is whack. Stay away from drugs, Jeremy. Blender's cloth brushes are so good. Way better than ZBrush. So I don't understand them, actually. Let me see here. Like, there's some pretty wild ones. Let me see. I don't understand them in the sense that I don't know how I use them to get the results I want. If that makes sense. Where the heck are they? Have I just turned them off? Simulation? I must have. Yeah, there they are. So push cloth. What's going on with this one? Yeah, so see, I'm like, I guess I can see there's like wrinkles happening. Maybe it requires a much softer shape going on here. Or like grab planer cloth. Dude, that's pretty wild. So you can like droop this. Okay, this one, I can see how it's behaving. Man, that's crazy. What's this one? Grab cloth. Just grab the corner here. Yeah, so it looks like it's really good if you're grabbing large scale. I wonder how much. So there's a simulation fall off. So there's some stuff that you could modify. That looks like it could be really handy. Yeah, so I think it's more about it just a matter of understanding how these brushes work. Drag cloth. Because see, for me, I'm like, how would I can see what's happening here, but I don't know how I use this. Pinch point. I mean, that one's pretty cool. You can use that for like couches. Oh, interesting. If you do the invert of it, you can like ripple the center out. Huh. Interesting. This one's cool. Some like bulging that like actually responds a lot like cloth. Or like with the pole lines. Why are you pinching this poor cube? Like you were its grandma. Kirk, what's up, man? You were using this, you use it always for modeling, but sculpting and ZBrush. Once you have the brushes set you like, it should be awesome. It's dude, it's pretty cool. Let's go in and like model up the next piece. So I made this one yesterday, which largely really is like, I mean, it's quite stylized and it's chipping and whatnot, but they're just separate pieces, right? That I sculpted individually, just like how you would approach it in whatchamacallit, in ZBrush. So I think what I'm gonna do, because the initial part of this I don't actually sculpt at all. Give me a second here. Oh, Frank, you're saying use lower strengths? Interesting. Okay. Good to know. All right, let me move the screen here for a second. Apparently I turned it off. All right, so we're going to prep this mesh before I get sculpting on it. Whoa. Apparently. I wonder why my viewport is behaving like join them, quad remesh, call it a day. To some degree, yes. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Why is my camera moving like that? Navigation. Somehow it got switched to trackball. Maybe because it detected my screen. There we go. Nomad looks pretty cool. There's a PC version coming out as well, right? It's already like in some type of a alpha state. Okay. Let's think here real quick. How we want to be doing this. Because this one's pretty big. I wonder if it should accommodate a couple patterns in it. Yeah, this is even separated, so. We'll select all these, and then I'll press P and then switch like by loose parts. Cool. We don't need all of this. So let's just cut that. We'll even cut this one. Well, let's see. We'll just go down. Yeah, I'll do that. And then we'll inset this. So what I was doing in the last stream is pressing like Control 2 or Control 3 to get a subdivision going, and then just weighting the edges with Shift E. And this usually gives me a pretty good result for the mesh. Inset this, so just get another extra loop in there. Yeah, and I mean, generally that looks pretty good. There's some weirdness going on here. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, hang on. Can't I? Nope. Cool. Nice. Let's I'm just gonna delete those. Turn this on so I can see what I'm looking at. And I'll cap that and then Shift E. Huh. Inset. There we go. That works. Works for me. Cool. Okay, so we got this top edge here. Maybe we're gonna want some type of a rim on this. Just bevel this. Jack, how long have I been covering Blender? Oh man, I don't know. Since 2.8, I think we switched in 2.8 and haven't looked back. So we're prepping a mesh here, and then we're gonna start sculpting on it to get these types of results. So some exciting stuff coming. Cool. Okay, so let's just grab these ones and we'll crease these. That should give us a nice Nice edge there. I don't know if I want to sculpt or add the shapes manually. Let's go to origin, or sorry, object origin to geometry. Yeah, we want to put to selected. There we go. And then we want to add a, let's add a sphere. We can just add like a icosphere, and we'll subdivide it a couple times. Doesn't need to be that big. Maybe we'll scale it down and just bring it up here. Or hang on here. We'll scale it down and we'll bring it up. So the pivot's in the center there. There's a new modifier, array. Am I using the old? Hang on here. Did this not save? So in extensions, there's a modifier list. Is this the most recent one? List fork. Maybe. I'll just uninstall this so we're getting the list here. So if we search array, yeah, you can see there's array legacy, and now there's this array. So this array is pretty sick. I was looking at it on the stream yesterday, and it's got like an interactive, like it can exponentially do the scaling, which is pretty sick. So we're gonna go in a circular array, and we're gonna just find the center point here, and I'll just move this up. And then we can scale, we can go into edit, right, and scale these in. Go back to object. It's weird that it's so slow. Yeah, so it's nice because it adds this like interactive way for you to work with it. So one thing that I'm noticing, so you can see how like I'm squishing it, and it's we need to squish it this way, I guess. Yeah. And then we can keep this more round. There we go. Cool. Oh yeah, we need to smooth it too. Faces. Shade smooth. I'll just give us a nicer, softer look. And then we can just take this and let's increase the count. Go, yeah, nine's probably good. Cool. And then, not sure how I want to do this. You're still using 4.2? 5's pretty good, man. I'm pretty happy with 5. But switch when you think it's a good time for you, you know? Let's add another one here. Whoop. I need to turn this off because I need to see what the core looks like here. I'm gonna bring this in. I usually don't use extrude, and I use inset and then just hold control to move it in and out. Because like if you're doing this one and you hit extrude, you know, you're having this thing and then you need to do some settings and whatnot. But if you're doing an inset, you get this. But if you hold down control, you also get the in and out. So I always use inset nowadays. So I can just hit inset, control, and then go in and out, and it'll follow the normal direction pretty nicely. Let's see here. Just gonna smooth this out a little bit. We got this like smaller edge set now. I'm just gonna crease these to 1. Karim, what's up? How you doing? Cool. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool. That's working pretty well. Trying to figure out where. Maybe I'll have this feel like a bowl that this is like sitting on. I think that could be kind of cool. So maybe we bring this up, and then maybe I'll do one more, and then scale that out. Scale this one out. Right, and then Pull that down and bevel this. Like that. So maybe this will merge with this. That being said, I probably need to cap that. We'll inset this, and then we'll just grow that. Split that off. Whoop. Whoop. I'm used to the split selection. There we go. Okay, now we got this piece. Cap that, inset. Shift E to crease. And then we'll do Control 2, Control 2. We need to make sure all this stuff is capped. Just for a cleaner high-res mesh. Now, the reason I'm subdividing it is just because when you dynamesh it, just like in ZBrush, if it was too low to begin with, you're going to see it in the mesh. So it's something to definitely think about when it comes to that stuff. I think, hang on here. I think I want to take this inner area. I'll extrude this in one more time and then cap it, and then we'll grow this and bring it up so we get a little bit of a lip. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. So I'm doing that on the other objects as well. Just a little bit of a lip sometimes where it's more curved instead of like straight angled. Yeah, the Alt E is pretty good for the extrude along normals. I think most of the time when I'm extruding like this, from like when I'm building these types of things, you want to be able to squish as well as like extrude outwards and inwards. So you end up getting a more almost like two tools in one, right? But it's a good point. I forgot about that one. I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that's kind of cool with the little lip there. I wonder if I bring it further out and then sharpen it a bit. Oh yeah, that's even cooler. Because we can, that's a good edge for chippage. Cool, so now we got this like inner piece here. Maybe I'll, see this is all about exploring too, right? Just finding, I'm gonna delete those and I'm gonna split this. How would I do this? Because I like these to be separated. That way when they dynamesh, they don't go too crazy, or they don't melt with each other. Let's see how many. Faces, 32. You ever catch yourself? I always forget to do this. But you know when you need to count these? And you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just select them, and then up here, you'll see what you've selected. I always forget that is there. Thankfully, this time I remembered, and now I'm trying to tell you guys. But yeah, so 32 faces. So what, 32 divided in half? Hang on here. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to calculate it. 32 divided by 5 is not going to work. But I was thinking 5 slices. 32 divided by 6, 5.3. All right, man, that's a lot. 8. If we divide by 4, might be better. Let's see. Yeah, I'm using what mat cap am I using? I'm using this 6th one. So if we go 4, 8. Split that off. And then there we go. Yeah, this will probably be better at this. When it comes to effigies like hand sculpted Buddhist figurines, do you guys typically sub-D the base mesh, then sculpt, or sculpt out a base mesh and continue adding detail from there? Usually statues are pretty. I mean, not even statues, like the types of objects that involve these types of details, they're usually pretty well done, right? And it's the aging and the damage that kind of gets them softer looking. So I really like to model them almost as if they're hard surface with sub D, just because you'll get a result that's a little bit more natural feeling. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, see what I'm doing here. I wonder if this works. Hang on here. I'm gonna just bring this over here. And then from there, you chip away. And like if you need figurines and stuff, don't hesitate to find a character, pose it, and then scale it down and dynamesh it into place. Keeping it separate is going to give you a much cleaner result. So, okay, there's this type of detail. This stuff here. Maybe we could be going that route. Let's see. If we take this interface here, we inset and then push out. Oh, we need to get the bottom here too. Inset and push out. Oh, that's not going to work with the... Hang on here. Maybe I can delete that loop there. We'll grab all these outer edges and we'll crease these. Right? Oh, I didn't get this one. Shift E, we'll crease that up. And that kind of gives us a bit of an edge. Maybe we need to add one more. Maybe we can add more sub Ds. There we go. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, maybe if it's softer. Like how much softer though, you know? Yeah, softer might do the trick. I wonder if you take, this is the other thing, is I'm just kind of exploring the shapes, right? I wonder if we pull that down. And can I scale? No. I'm going to slide this one in. Maybe somewhere around there. And slide this one in. Looking at this like shape here to kind of give me a guide. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. I think it starts to get away from the shape language of the stuff you're seeing here, and then the stuff that's going on here. Maybe it's just better to. I think here. Oh, I know what I could do. Okay, let's delete that. Let's rotate this. Let's take this bottom edge here. Oh, actually, right here, where the split is, and extrude this up. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. Increase that. Oop. Increase this one. And then maybe we take this. Press O, so we're doing soft select. And then scroll this up. And let's see if we can do something interesting here. Maybe I grab all of these. Let's see what that looks like. It's too it's too much right now. Let's turn soft select off. If we pull these in. Just trying to find. No, this is not working. Fuds, what's up? Have we gone too far? We've gone too far. No, you were supposed to be the chosen one. We'll leave that kind of there. I do think there's something there. Just need to find out how we do it. I mean, hang on here. Every time there's a split, I'm just going to grab those. And we'll just inset and extrude. And we'll pull these in. Maybe this is working a little better. I like the language of this. I think it's cool looking. This loop though is causing some conflicts. There we go. It'll flow a little bit better now. I can deal with that. Yo, Harry, what's up? YouTube chat this time. Cool, cool, cool. And then I think, let's see here. These are going to merge. So not too worried about those. We have a little bit of a language of bottom detail there going like that. So I'm going to just bevel this and then set, pull in that a little bit. Get these. We'll do like a subdivision of 3. Let's do 3 on this one. 3. Nice. Okay. Got that kind of sorted. What's going on down here? Aha. Of course. I'll crisp that up. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. I wonder if I can take these. I'll just delete one of these. Second will work. It just might. And then we'll just hang on here. The array, I don't think would work in this context because it's coming from the source, right? Circle. Oh, it does. Oh my God. That's cool. Okay. So these vases are actually, these are for the temple. Because I have vases in there. They just look bad. Why did the blind man say, what did the blind man say when he's passing the fish market? I have no idea. What did he say? Here's me walking into a trap in 2026. Let's go. Just gonna bring this in. And wow, uncle, dude. Wow. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Anyways, thank you for allowing us to hit 100 messages in our chat. I keep putting a little edge inside of here as well. I think I'm going to keep doing that. The scary part is I have an Uncle June. So I can't imagine it that's Uncle June. So I'm just going to bring this up. Oh, that's kind of cool with the... Okay, I'll leave that alone. That's cool. So we have this stuff going on. I think... Let me see here. Let me think. I think I will split these off. And set this. And that'll allow for this. It's always about finding these like nice areas to like have an edge to. Because then I can split all this off. Like maybe these would be better up here. Let's do that. But there's 4 of them, right? Just get one of them into place and the rest will just lock in. I'll just scale this up too. Doesn't need to be perfect, just in place. The other thing is this edge loop here needs to get tightened up. Where are we at here? Like if I grab... Oh, come on. Turn these on. These. Well, not those. I need to grab... Oh, these ones. I'm just going to go manually all the way around. Oh, it doesn't need to go that way. It needs to go this way. There we go. There we go. Digging that, digging that. You were not expecting so much work goes before sculpting. Gets a lot of the answers for you. So you don't have to deal with sculpting it, you know? So I think what I'll do is delete these. And then I will do an array. I'll do the array before the subdivision. We'll do a circle. We'll do 4 of them. We'll also do a solidify. Solidify will give us some thickness. You can see there. We'll do that before the subdivision. Even thickness. And then how much? Cool. Okay, and then we'll focus on one of these. Turn the array off. Except the solidify. Yeah, I like the structure to all be there from the get-go because it's just easier to deal with. Okay. We get some thickness in there just so we can have some sides when we start to chip away at it. We'll do the array. That all looks good. This is pretty set, I think. I think what I will also do is rotate this. I'm just going to eyeball it, but I think it'd be good to rotate these so they're more on a... Everything's more aligned, you know? And then... I wonder... We did 4. Might be better. And then we can do on a 45. Does not look like it's on a 45. That looks like it's more the 45. So this is, yeah, okay. Well, 'tis what it is. Cool. And then I want to make sure we get some of this type of detail somewhere on there. Wonder where that would go. Let me just squint here for a second. I mean, maybe it can go along the inner edge here. That'd be kind of cool. Let me think how I would do this. Just duplicate. We'll hide everything except for these ones. And then let's delete these. Cap, triangulate, quadrify. Cap, triangulate, quadrify. Oh, whoops, what am I doing here? Your Blender workflow is different? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Oh. You can see what I'm trying to do now is I want to pull these details in a little bit. That way they have a little bit of a rim to them. Alt S to just push this detail outwards. They don't need to be perfect either, right? We're just trying to get this stuff good to go. It just needs to line up nicely. So these I can sculpt on separately, and I can do the patterns across them. Okay, cool. Nice. We will do these without the array. We'll do these. Well, actually, hang on. Let's accept the array. Turn the subdivision off. I'll delete these ones, and then we'll array these. And just make sure they work. Array, circle, 4. Nice. Okay, cool. Good. Good. Love what you did with these. Dude, nice. Okay, cool. Good. Good. Are those meant to be leather? It's actually, funny enough, it's all going to be stone. And then maybe some like gem stone type things. Like these probably need a little bit of TLC before I send it away. Let me think here. This also, the way I have this one positioned, I don't really like. So if I do like this, and then put this here. Radius, there we go. Bring this back in. So if the radius is 0, 1 will be exactly where you need it to be, you know? So from there, I can turn this off and work reliably on 1. I just put in the ingredients and hit the button. Then I get a tasty drink. Dude, hell yeah. Yeah, I imagine everyone's workflows are going to be a little different. I wonder if I can just... No, I can't because of the shape I decided to pick here. Cool. Hang on here. Let me think. I wonder if I dupe this up here and squish it. Uh, 180. Let's just do this so I can work. Madness. Cool. I'll delete that. And we'll ride the wave. It's a little bit closer to the look. Is Blender sculpting decent now? Do I still need ZBrush? Dude, I have no idea. That's all. I think it's more so a personal choice. But I mean, I'm getting results that I'm happy with, and so I haven't used ZBrush in a while. So if that helps, I think I'm gonna go up to 8. Yeah, there we go. Sick. Okay. So the array on those ones I'm going to accept because they're already kind of made. This one I will not do the array on because I'll have the shape that I can use. And then we've got our details here. These I want to merge, so I'm going to just join those. Yeah, ZBrush has a ton of tools. Like their main focus is sculpting, right? So it's of course going to be pretty strong. Think about it like that. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. I wonder what this looks like if I crease these. And then if I slide it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do it manually on all of these, but I'm digging it. They don't need to be perfect. Oh, right. I need to grab the tops here too. Dude, why can't I freaking select anything? Edges? Yeah, there we go. That's why. Oh, does this not snap reliably? Oh, I was like, what? That freaked me out. It looks like they are not snapping reliably. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. Oh my god. What am I even doing? Dude, none of this is aligned. I'm gonna ignore it. Do people math on ZBrush? What do you mean? What do you mean, sir? Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. Oh, it's so much more here. You see the... Okay, I'm going to walk away from this. Everything is fine. Oh, Jack uses ZBrush like a calculator? I mean, he's a mathematician for sure. Okay. We got this mesh. I think it's time to sculpt on this. It's already 9:17. But I can... happy little accidents. Let's go. Cool. Okay, so these are accepted. These are... Yep. Subdivisions. We got an array on here. We're going to get rid of the array. But we're going to split these by loose parts so we can sculpt on these separately so they don't melt together. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if they melt together because now the seam is hidden. I'm just realizing this. Hang on. Let's turn that off. Turn the array off. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, well, I just made myself some extra work. Cool. Cool. Let's get the subdivide in there, except the array. We'll accept the subdivision and then, okay, sculpting. And let's see what happens when we smooth this out. Okay, so there's a little bit of a, so you can see the faceting that's happening there. We don't want that. So subdivisions need to go even higher. So we're going to go up to like 5. And then we'll go into sculpting. We'll go to like 0, 0, 0, 8 or 9. Might have been too much. Let's see. Yeah, so this is much smoother, and it's all melted together. So we should be able to, yeah, cool, good deal. What's the? Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. So these don't matter all that much, but I think I want to start down here. This area is like exciting to me. Okay. Time to get the other screen out. Hang on. Bright. That was really bright. All right, 40 minutes. Let's go. So I'm going to just subdivide these a couple more times. This is looking a little soft here, but it's all good. All good. Okay. Accept subdivision. We'll go to this piece. We're going to go to sculpting. And then, can I move this? Can I move this window? Can make it bigger, but I want to see if I can shift it over, but okay, whatever. So we can sculpt on this, but we need to subdivide it a bit. Let's go something like, that might be a little much. Maybe 001 is fine. I think you can dial that in here too, yeah. So if you wanted to type up top here, and then we can remesh. And then that should be all set. And then I can just start going chippy chip on here. And before I do that, I probably want to, so just like in ZBrush, you have the properties on the right, right panel over here. There's mesh filters, and I usually do like a smooth and drag to just kind of soften all the edges. It's kind of like adding a bit of a bevel. And it just kind of softens up those details a little bit. And then I'm just going to start going for it. So with these chipping details, what I probably want to do is keep them kind of localized and then commit in some areas pretty heavy damage. And I like it to taper off a little bit as well. It's a bit of a stylistic choice, but it's all good. If we need to, we can sharpen that inner edge up there. I wonder if I can, yeah, just really. I am retopoing it, but I'm gonna be like just decimating it down for these ones, mainly because I'm being lazy. But if you look at these guys, if we scroll down to like the low poly of this one, Here's the high poly. Here's the low poly. Low poly looks like this. It's like really wild long seams that happen along the surface. But it'll all get melted down together. Like if you look at this one as well. Here's the low poly of this one. This one's a bit higher. I probably would have smoothed out this detail. Like one technique that you could use. Stag, yeah, I did. One detail you can use is, or like technique you can use is not sculpting these like smaller details. Like see this type of detail. You can save that type of information and like the little pockmarks detail, like these little inner damaged bits. You can save those for after you've made your Dynameshed version or your low res version, because then you have the low res version without having to worry about like losing the decimation to take that stuff into account. If that hopefully that makes sense. So it ignores it, because then you're gonna get a cleaner deformation. Maybe we can broad stroke this one. We can do like maybe an angle. Let's see. Let's see if we can figure out how that would. This is where this one comes in. Oh, this brush is very different with a pen. Interesting. We can just damage that up a bit. Cali Pops, that's a dope name. These are not working for me. I wonder if I can like let me think here. Let's delete those. Let's see if we can remesh this. Oh, nice. Delicious. Let's see if we can get something out of it. If not, then I'll have to remake the thing. We'll soften that. That's that mesh filter I was talking about earlier. I got quietly concentrated here. And it's okay if it's quite organic. I think it lends itself to being a little bit more believable. Let's see if we can lower this. You can turn on where is it? Stroke. Stabilize stroke. There we go. Okay, I think that's working. And inflate this a little bit. And maybe we can softly dent it up a bit. Nice. Cool. That's definitely better than where it was. What is going on? There we go. I just want to make sure this crease is clear. Nice. Yeah, you're going to try and make one yourself? Uncle, what are you on Twitch? I have no idea what that's about. Is that the case? I didn't know that. You're never able to make it work for you? Yeah, I mean, yeah. We can, one of the things I need to make sure that we're doing here. Navigation. Orbit around selection? Is it that? Let me just move this to the side here. I want to see if this is. So for here, and we're sculpting. And then turn this off. There we go. So it like orbits around the area you're sculpting on. Okay, so the workflow is essentially this. You get a shape. If you go into sculpting, you press R and you remesh it and it's too low poly, you will get these edges in your sculpt, right? So to do this, you press R, Control R executes the Dynamesh. But what we need is for this object to be higher res. So I press Control 3, for example, maybe even like higher than that. You basically, we can set it to shade smooth, but you basically want to select these loops, Shift E to crease. And then if that's not enough, you can do an inset as well. So that way you get a nice clean topology. Everything looks nice and smooth, except the subdivision. Go back into sculpting, do a Dynamesh again, and now you'll see it's much cleaner. You can see the edge there is a little nasty. That just requires you to go even lower. So we press Control R. Now it is nice and smooth. If we go in and start sculpting, oh man, that is actually. I'm gonna turn off the orbit around selection. I got used to, because I actively choose with a middle click what I'm orbiting around. Alt middle click will have you set your orbit location. So now that that's set, now you should be good to sculpt. And you should have like all of the geo you're gonna need. And if you ever need like a remesh, you just press Control R again and you'll get another remesh of it. Harry, I'm not familiar with that actually. But then again, I think for me, if I'm zooming in that much, it's probably pretty. Like, I don't know why I need to zoom in that much. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't know if that makes sense. Whoa. This is problematic. That was weird. I feel like I shouldn't need the orbit around selection, but seemed like it's something I was missing. This is another reason I like to sculpt with the mouse, is because I can just middle click. I mean, I guess I could set that to what is this? Q on tablet and middle mouse button. What? That should work then. Nice, Jack. You can see though, it's like it takes me ages to get where I want to be. Whereas if I'm just in here, I'm good to go. Okay, let's add some other layers. So we got the rock stamp. Let's like really lower that down. Go way back here. It's something like, yeah, that feels pretty good. See, and then we can lean into it. You can see we got the detail here. We can just like push this down. Yeah, this is just using a stamp, an alpha. You'll see too, it's like maybe you can line it up with what you've sculpted before. And then we're gonna want some of these. Where are they at? Is it this one? No, this one. There we go. Yeah. Baxter, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, by putting the time into the modeling, you now don't have to worry about it really, right? I think if I grab these details and then we go back to sculpting. Let me see. So I think if you do X-ray as well, yeah, X-ray allows you to see, to sculpt inside. Wonder if I can. Starting to come through. That could be pretty useful if you can get the right angle on it. See, then you can get away from the shapes a little bit more, so that you can see how like the silhouette there is much more interesting than the straight edge here. Makes me think I should probably just go for it. Hang on, let's check. Ooh, gross. Yeah, see, by just dinging up this edge, maybe the, yeah, see the silhouette's gonna be much more interesting. It's better than this, like, the swooping thing we got going on here. What time is it? It's 9:40. Nice. I made these brushes. I could probably put them on my. They're pretty straightforward. Like if you watch the whole stream, you can see how they're made. But I was gonna say I could probably just like put them on my Patreon for like a buck or whatever, or like give it access to people that are on the Patreon. At least the ones that aren't someone else's alphas. Because like for example, this the rock stamp one, that's not my alpha, and the pockmarks, those aren't my alpha. Like you have to buy those for sure. Okay, I think we got what we're looking for when it comes to the shape language here. Some stuff going on. Oh man, that's gonna bug me. Hang on. Generalist, the perfectionism is coming through. Help me. There we go, a little better. Cool. Okay, we'll leave it at that. And if we unhide more, we have this one, which we can now array 4 times on a circle. Nice, accept the array. Okay, and now we can look at this piece. This one, I'll probably add a few more subdivisions, and maybe these are too sharp, so I'll just soften those a bit. It is perfectly imperfect. Yes. I'm gonna bevel this edge here. I think here. Main reason I want to do this is to scale this out and sharpen it. Sharpen the other one as well. And down here, this is where we'll make our pattern sculpt. So remember this top piece is separate from the bottom. We're just going to accept the subdivision and then go into the sculpting and then see how it holds up. Actually, before we do that, let's save real fast. Okay, so let's scale this up somewhere around there. Sure. Control R. Nice, looks good to me. So where these meet, right, those got welded together. I'll usually use the chipping brush that I usually have. I would use that inverted to help like fill in some crevices. Kind of gives a sense of like some buildup, or even just a little bit of variation inside of like that seam, just so it's not so perfect. This does feel a little low res though. Hang on. We're going up more. Players looking at that angle, 0.1%. Dude, you're telling me, man. You think I'm putting this here for the players? This is for you guys. Yeah, so this type of details is nice for just kind of getting rid of that edge. You can see it like it kind of ends up becoming this organic, a little bit more organic. The next thing maybe I can demo for you guys is the patterns that we were looking at doing. So save this. Let's see here. We've got this mirroring going on here. So we've got radial symmetry. So we can just turn this up to, let's do like 11 first. And then we'll just sculpt here and see how many that looks like. Okay. We probably need more. Let's do 16. Yeah, 16 might work. Is this vase made on potter's wheel? No idea, man. It's a good point though. Like if you wanted to really design like how the details are put together and like the scraping pattern, if you wanted to do like that kind of radial scraping pattern. Let's do 20. I think every time I undo, this goes back to... That's a bit annoying. Yeah. You would smudge the details if that was the case. Oh, you mean smudge these details? Interesting. Or like any of the type of information that I end up sculpting on. That makes sense. Directionally, you mean? I wonder if I haven't played with any of the smudging. Like there's this clay thumb one. Dude, this one's crazy. It actually looks like, so if we lower this quite a bit, it kind of looks like you're smudging. If I turn it up, you can see what it's doing. Pretty sick. But I mean, you could do that here. I'm like, clay, beads. Yeah, this one probably would do the trick. You probably need to make it subtractive, but I don't think you can. Not beads. There we go. Probably do some stuff like this. Maybe soften it up a bit. Anyways, yeah. Pattern. Let's do 11, and then I'll just draw it for a while. Turn this into a square. Oh God, he's backtracking. I don't like it. Well, it's kind of interesting. I think the more interesting part about it is once you have these details is just chipping them away. Wonder if I can really scrape into there. There we go. Can fill it in as well if you hit control. I don't like that one. Dude, this brush is so useful. Just as useful as it was in ZBrush. You guys playing any games lately? I want to get back into streaming games. I was playing a little bit of what is it called? Elden Ring, but I got too busy. But I'd like to stream games. Dude, this stamp is freaking OP. It's so good. Bristol, what's up? How you doing? Uh-oh. Am I freaking out, Blender? What's good? What is good? All right, we should go around this edge. Oh yeah, dude, we can lean into the damage that was there. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Dude, that game's sick, man. I haven't played it, but man, it's technically really impressive, and the art is amazing. Chronos. Dude, Chronos is really cool. Interesting world. And Silent Hill F. I watched a playthrough of Silent Hill F because I just couldn't find the time to play it, but I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. I'm actually extremely excited for the new Resident Evil. It just, man, their engine looks so nice. You can see my chippage is very, there's a process to that. It just kind of, I just carry over the same kind of language. Oh, these ones are going to be dope though. A method to the madness, if you will. My Division 2 breakdown video recently. Oh, the White House one. Where we talk about like how we put that together. Dude, that stuff's crazy. That was pretty fun. Fun to chat about. Just trying to. Yeah, we're getting a little. Okay, yeah, it's kind of working. It's 9:57. Man, I didn't get where I wanted to. I was hoping to get this whole thing done, but I kind of have to think about the design of it as well. We'll join these two together, and I'll show you guys some of the process for creating the mesh. We can do like a quick unwrap and stuff. Okay. So let's say that we have our whole high poly and we're all good to go, right? This inner area, we could probably use this as its own mesh. Kind of interesting to place in areas. But let's say that this is like pottery 03 high poly. I then duplicate this, hide everything, and then do like I usually do a remesh of it, just using the same we were doing for sculpting, but I lower the resolution so that way it softens up a lot of the information. And then you'll see we get some, there might be a hole here actually. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gonna be bad. We would probably need to close that up. How would I close that up? Maybe inflate till it meets. Oh man, it's all the way around though. Ugh, that's gonna be gross. Let me think here. Face sets. Face set. I mean, it's all melted together, isn't it? So I don't think it's face sets are not gonna solve it. I bet it's like this in a couple of them too. Oh man, we have to fix that before I can demo this. Hang on. So when you go into face selection, it can get really kind of crazy. We're gonna just split by loose parts again. I'm gonna go in and delete a few of these. We're gonna just take this one. And I'm just gonna take the verts in see-through. And I'm going to do a lasso. Just grab this whole thing here and just pull this whole thing back. Oh, wow. Dude, I didn't even get all of it. Oh, that's brutal. Okay, hang on. It's worse than I thought. Wowee. Just gonna smooth all this out and ignore it like it never happened. Just gonna use the mouse, chip away a bit at it. Cool, okay. Array. 4. Come on, I believe. 4. Boom, okay. Join. Join, there we go. Okay. Hi, Polly, yes. Duplicate, hide, sculpt, remesh, lower. It's too low. You still want to get some of the information in there, right? And the thing is like, it's good to smooth out some of this information if you don't want it to be part of your low poly mesh. So like, for example, in here, by softening this out, we're just going to have less geometry be utilized in there, right? And of course, like with all of the other things, it would be melted together anyway, so you wouldn't even, this area wouldn't be of an issue. But then we do a decimate if we don't do a manual retopology. And decimate, I'll just do like a 0.1 and see where that puts us. Is this for a game? Kind of. I mean, it's for our exercises and whatnot. So if we turn on the wireframe, you can see here. And you can see that's like pretty, it's okay. 0.5, let's try 0.5. That's a little better. I mean, with nanite workflows, it'd probably be all right. So I'm gonna collapse this and then accept that. The other thing I'm gonna do is turn the wireframe off and then go in this view and look for things like this. So that's usually a weird triangulation that's happened from the decimation. So I just go in and cut those whenever I see them. See, like this is really, like that's a really tiny little, so I just keep cutting those whenever I see weird shading issues, right? Shouldn't be any that are too bad. Usually you can see them pretty easily though. That's getting pretty picky as well, so take that with a grain of salt. Palin, what's up, yo? Hello. And then from there, I usually would do like a edge select and like control click around to find a loop to follow. Like it's not going to be perfect, that's for sure. And I'm just going to keep going. Let's see here. And I use Zen UV for unwrapping. I'm just gonna, man, this is so messy, but you know. Let's see if we notice. Okay, so I mark that, which means if I press L on here, you can see that as its own UV island. If I hit unwrap twice and then look at the checker, I can check to see if it's like UV'd nicely. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna just, let's see here, turn that off. I'm gonna just go down this way and then wrap around this object. You can see it gets real messy in here. I'm not a real fan of this. That whole area in there is kind of gross. We might need to remesh that before we, like in a final version, I would need to clean that up because that's not gonna fly, in my opinion. Kind of gross. You can see how jaggedy it gets too. Not good. So okay, we'll say that's quote unquote fine. Let's see here. I'm gonna just go around. Actually, I'm gonna go down the center here. Just gonna go all the way down this way, and then we'll go around. And I'm just gonna take this. God, that's so messy. I need to look at how those are all melted together. It's just gonna be cleaner if I solve that. And then I'll just do the same thing. The other thing that I tend to do is paint select. So if you go faces, you can do this, which can be a pretty nice way of getting your UV seams sorted. Because with Zen UV, it'll take the entire selection as an island and then just UV the outside edge of it. So if I just paint this all in, I can just boop, and then now I have my little island. Go back to select here. We'll go up this way, and then we'll do this one. We'll go all the way over here, all the way over here. Mark that, and then I think I'll just messily boop, 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 boop. Nice. Cool. Okay. Unwrap. Let's check our UVs here. Okay, there's nothing split here. Where is that? Let's do that. We'll unwrap again. Do a relax. That's some nice geo. Wipe out. Hey. Hey. And then we'll do a pack here. We'll call it good. Okay, and then Alt F4 command. Yeah, Alt F4 always works. Guaranteed results for sure. Okay, let's export this. Where the heck was I exporting the other stuff? Let's hide these. It looks like I've got three things here. That's the sculpted one. All right. I'll just export this. I'm going to put it to my desktop because we're out of time, but I want to show you. Pot mesh, high poly. Export. It's a very high poly. All right. And then we'll export this one. Pot mesh, low poly. Export. Free substance materials alternative? You mean substance materials in Substance Painter or? Oh my God, I'm blind again. Why does Adobe everything does this? Okay, let's do new. We'll select the mesh. Low poly. Okay. For 3D model texture. Yeah, so Substance Painter or Designer or the materials in Substance Painter. Which one? And then I'll go in and add the high poly. This new cage setting, automatic experimental, dude, this cage is impressive. It calculates a cage. I think it says it here. No, they don't even say it here. It calculates a cage looking at the high poly. So your cage is like super pristine. Look how clean that is. And we'll just bake this out. Let's do a quick bake test. We'll return. All right, there we go. And if you see it's aliasing a bit, we just need to get some this anti-aliasing in the bake. This might chop the camera out. Let's go. Oh, an alternative to Substance in Total. Affinity to Photoshop. So not really. There we go. Nice. Look at that. And then we can do like, didn't I make a material? Smart materials. Test. Oh, demo. There it is. Boop. Nice. Feels good. Okay. I should probably go. Quixel mixer? Yeah. Yeah. I hear there's a new there's a Quixel something coming. It's all rumors though, who knows. But I assume I believe they said they wanted to make a new one at some point. Watch them build it directly into Unreal. Wouldn't that be wild? No, but I mean, they've been saying that on the forums for a while. Not them, but like online. People have been like, oh, I bet they're probably working on something. Most things already are in Unreal. Yeah, true. True. Anyways, yeah. So this is probably I mean, this kind of shows what we're looking at. If we look at the base color, we could put gold on here. So gold damage, put it at the top here, and then just add like a black mask, and then go in and paint it in. So good. Look at this painting skills. Oh yeah, dude. I don't even know why I'm doing all of them. We just need to look at like 2 of these. Nailed it. Sick. Yeah. No, I'm excited. We can get these pots in the engine. It's gonna look much better than what we have currently. I don't need something powerful. I'm trying to learn GTA modding. I have no idea. No idea, man. It's gold. Okay. I think it's time. Is this sound working now? No, it's not. Oh. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, cool. Try to make the line gold. The inner, like, the gem you want. Oh, yeah, not a good... I think that's a good idea. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. And for all the people on YouTube as well, thanks for hanging. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, Timothy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Okay. Later, guys.